Hi, it's Melina from Galarious Goods, and I'm trying out this video thing. Today I'd like to chat with you about celebrations in the classroom and how they can fit into busy classroom schedules. It's Galarious Goods' first birthday, so I'm all into celebrations at the moment, and celebrating learning is such an important thing for us and for our students. I have a few ideas about squeezing in these celebrations. One is to use those 5-minute times just before breaks, just before we go home, when we're waiting for specialist teachers, and to have a think about, well, how can we celebrate within those little moments of time? One thing we can do is we can reflect back on our learning, the lesson we've just had, the lesson we've had earlier in the day, the lessons we've been having over the week, and what things have really stood out to our students that we should celebrate. What have they learnt? Another thing that our students could do is nominate themselves. What would they like to celebrate that they've learned or that they've achieved? And how would they like to do it? Is it a moment for a little dance, or is it a moment for a pat on the back or for a clap? And so those are really good ways to fill in those 5-minute times. Another really easy way to celebrate the learning our students are doing is to make phone calls home to their parents. I had a principal who insisted on positive phone calls home, and although it seemed like it was going to be a really tough thing to do, it made such a difference to the students and their parents, and I really was glad that we were asked to do that. And you can talk to the parents about the little things they do or the big achievements that they're making. Remembering to celebrate can be really hard, so one thing you might like to do is have a poster in your classroom that reminds you to stop and celebrate learning, which is a reflection time, which is really good. You may not have room in your classroom, or you may be moving from classroom to classroom, so you might like to use another way of reminding your students to celebrate their learning, whether it's a post-it note in their books so that they move as they're going through, or a bookmark. Anything that can remind them that learning is important, and it is also important that we celebrate those achievements. And finally, don't forget to celebrate yourself. Celebrate those lessons where you really rock it, where you just do a brilliant job of teaching. You might like to do this by keeping a journal where you celebrate those great lessons that you want to remember, or you might have an Instagram account where you either private or shared, where you keep photos of particularly good lessons. Or you might like to use something like a Trello board where you can keep those lessons and then refer back to them when you like to do the same thing in the future. I hope that's given you a few ideas about celebrating in the classroom, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Bye!